Air Force Undersecretary Matthew Lohmeier. He described an encounter that he had with a glowing orb in Tucson. So this is posted from UAP James, and actually comes from UAP Reporting Center also. He talked about it, and he said that it didn't feel man-made. He felt like it was alive, felt like it was watching them. So this is a former fighter pilot, and he's going to, you're going to see the clip here. Let me play this for you guys, and we'll talk about it on the other side here.
But I was watching a documentary that was done in 2020 called Phenomenon. I was watching it with my wife late at night, and it was probably 45 or 60 minutes into this documentary. We had air traffic controllers talking about a phenomenon that they occasionally see at their airfields. It's not common, it's rather rare, of these balls of light that seem to zip around the flight lines and be able to defy the known laws of physics incredibly fast. And they were like big orbs of light, orange or yellowish in color. And I paused the film, and I remembered, as odd as that sounds, that I'd seen the exact same thing in high school when I was in the mountains in Arizona. And I told my wife, I said, I've seen this. I know exactly what they're talking about. And she said, no, you haven't. I said, no, I really have. And she says, we've been married for 10 years. You've never mentioned this once. And it's true. I hadn't mentioned it because it was one of those things I'd never understood. It was a very peculiar experience. I was with another girl at the time when I saw this. And so I said, look, come with me. We're going to go to Facebook. We're going to go online, and we're going to send a message to this girl I've not reached out to in 20 years. And I'm going to say, hey, remember me? Remember that time we were in the Tucson mountains, which is exactly what I did. I said, do you remember that thing we saw? And I didn't say anything else. And she responded back immediately. And I was like, hey, be careful. My wife's here with me. I don't want you to embarrass me. And she said, yeah, that big freaking ball of light UFO thing that we saw. And my wife was surprised that, in fact, it was just as that documentary Phenomenon had depicted it. And what I shared with my wife thereafter, and had always been puzzled about, was that this ball of light that we saw descending down over our head got close enough for me to look at it and into it, and it seemed to be buzzing with life, but it wasn't man-made. It was very well organized, very spherical, and it seemed to be very conscious of the two of us that were sitting there in the Arizona mountains, like it was observing us. And it was a distinct impression that I had, that I was being watched, observed, that there was a level of interest from the orb to us, and it frightened us. And so we got up and we ran to the car and we ran away, and that thing zipped up and disappeared in the sky.
Okay, so pretty fascinating story. And also, for people who are like, well, why is he talking about this now when it's probably like 20, 25 years later? Like you said, he's watching the James Fox documentary. He sees it. He brings up memories. He reaches out to the girl that he was with. They talk about it, and then he kind of goes deeper into exactly what happened. Now, the other thing is, too, that he probably, at the time when that happened, people weren't talking about this thing. People weren't discussing it in the same way. People weren't doing podcasts about this and having open conversations about it. It was very, very taboo. Very taboo, especially when you're trying to get into, he wanted to become a pilot and he wanted to do all these things. And the last thing he's going to do is say, well, I saw a UFO once and it looked like it was looking at us. Now you go back there when the conversation is heating up and you remember this particular thing that you saw. And it's not unlike other things that we have heard about these orbs. And I had recently somebody reached out and sent footage, and I played it on here not too long ago, about how these particular things, some people have seen these orbs kind of transform into other things. There was that video footage when all the Jersey stuff was going on. There was this one woman who had gotten footage of this ball of light that kind of turned into like a plane or something and flew off. And whatever you believe, don't believe, but these particular balls of light are the ones that we see more and more of. And there's these reports of what are these balls of light? Are they man-made? Are they something else? Are they a mixture of both? Because there was tons of those types of things. There was these big, SUV-sized drones that people saw, but then there was also a lot of reports of these balls of light. And is that mixed with this? The other side of it, the foo-foo side of it for me is the more and more, and we haven't discussed this in quite a while. In my head and where I go, and I don't know if it's science fiction that I go to or just the belief that I've always had, is that I still hold true in my belief of the not really truly understanding time and space and how that works, and more so interdimensional things than anything else. It's just in my head with the science of quantum physics and stuff that I can't even possibly try to figure out. It to me makes the most sense without making sense, if that makes sense. Because I don't think I don't know, light years away, travel from other galaxies, all that. It's not what I buy. It's not to say that I don't, if it's someone else thinks that that's exactly what it is and thinks that it's craft coming from other places, it's not what I buy. I think that there's other things that we just don't understand, and how time space works. I don't think we understand how consciousness works. I think that humans are very much like, well, what's in front of us is what it is. And I don't believe that at all. I don't think we have an inkling or an understanding at all of how it really works and what we really see and what else we can be privy to. And I don't know what the hell happens when we leave this earth. I don't know. I don't know if it's a portion of if that's all interconnected, spirituality and all of that. I think about it all the time. I don't talk about it as much here. I talk a lot about the stuff that's going on with the hearings and other things that are trying to get to the bottom of this stuff. But my overall belief, those are the types of things. I just think there's more to it. I think it's too easy to just shoo something off and say, well, close your eyes when it's all over and done with. That's all it is. That could be the case. But I think all this stuff, the balls of light, the consciousness, the things that we've heard about in general, I feel like it's all interconnected. What real evidence do I have of that? None. But when it comes to this particular story and how this gentleman saw this thing, and the specific thing that both he and the woman that he was with said, how it felt like it was studying them and watching them. I don't know why I buy it, but I buy this. I believe him. I believe that there was a lot to that. I have in the past on this channel and everything too. I saw something. And I don't know. Maybe it's connected. Maybe it's not. It's when I started talking about this topic. There were two times that I saw something that I couldn't really explain what it was. First time was something similar to this. Like it was kind of like a ball of light that's kind of hovered for a bit in front of the place that I lived at the time and zipped past. And then there was another kind of like red orb that kind of went by. I've put both of them on the channel at some point. Now, it very well could have just been absolutely nothing. Could have been, I don't know if it was balloons, but the red thing definitely wasn't a balloon. I don't know what the hell it was. But the orb was far enough away that it could have been anything, right? But these balls of lights, you hear more and more and more about these balls of lights that can transform and do other things. But I mean, this story, the guy doesn't seem like he's full of shit, But who knows these days? I don't know. But I buy this guy's story. And I think that the first thing, rightfully, some people are gonna be like, well, why did it take him so long, and how did he just remember it now? Like I said, the guy was trying to become an Air Force pilot, and last thing he's going to try to do is say, hey, by the way, before you accept me and all this stuff, I saw a UFO. I mean, I would probably tell that story every single day in the way that Mark Riley, former co-host on Down to Earth, used to talk about his UFO experience all the time. So what do you make of this story? What do you think about it? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. As always, I tell you about IndaCloud. I've been telling you about them all week. I hope you guys check it out. Absolutely amazing. And we'll see you back here on Monday. Thanks, everybody. Bye. You tried melatonin. You've tried ASMR. You've tried breathing apps, adult coloring books, and that one overpriced face mask to just make things darker and sadder. Have you tried a buzz that doesn't end with a hangover and $42 bar tab? That's right. You work hard. Maybe. You deal with life sometimes, but do you still deserve an escape? Of course you do. That's where IndaCloud comes in. They have gummies, flour, pre-rolls, all federally legal, seriously fun, and a few clicks away. Whether you're chasing better sleep, deeper intimacy, or just solid daytime relief, this is a grown-up cloud chasing done right. I'm telling you, I dig it. I love it. They sent it to me. I'm always on the chase for some new gummies, and I got it. I got it here. It's just what I like about it is there's no sketchy ingredients. I don't wake up with a hangover. It's really good. I like the different flavors that they have for sure. So make sure you check it out because there's over 50,000 people that are already choosing IndaCloud because feeling good should feel this easy. If you're 21 or older, now's your chance to float above the stress because IndaCloud is giving all new customers 25% off their first order plus free shipping. Got to use that code DTE or just click the link in the show notes to claim your discount. That's IndaCloud.co, INDACLOUD.co. Use that code DTE for free shipping plus 25% off your first order. Order now, fill out their quick survey to support the show, and enjoy the best part of your week. Brought to you by IndaCloud.